Good afternoon and welcome to our webinar, Recording Microsoft Teams, presented by Wilmec and NICE. Just a few housekeeping items before we get started. All participants have been placed in listen-only mode with your microphone muted. We encourage you to participate in our webinar by asking questions throughout the presentation. Just submit your question in the chat window and we will review them at the end. We do have a large audience today, so in case we cannot get to your question, we'll be sure to follow up with you individually and get your question answered. The NICE product development team has joined us and will assist us in fielding more technical questions today. Again, welcome to today's webinar. We're very excited to have you join us to talk about the partnership between Wilmec and NICE and dive into NICE's NTRX integration with Microsoft Teams. All right, the agenda. On the agenda today, we'll have the presenters do some quick introductions. We'll give everyone a quick background on the Wilmec company and then dive into the meat of the presentation. We'll walk through communication compliance challenges, Teams recording considerations, complete communication compliance, and then discuss the advantages of working with Wilmec and NICE Alliance. At the very end, we'll do a Q&A. My name is Stephen McDonald, and I'm the VP of Sales for the Wilmec company. I've been with the company for 10 years, and for 5 of those years, I had a focus on the financial compliance practice group. Our first expert presenter today is Rich Vogt from NICE. Rich, can you take a moment to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Steve. My name is Rich Vogt. I am with the NICE Communication Compliance line of business. I'm a global account representative. I work hand in hand with customers and working with Wilmec, and excited to talk about our team solution today. And I'm going to turn it over. I don't know if turn over to Al to introduce himself.
Hey, Rich and Steve. Thanks again, Steve, for inviting us in today with Wilmec. This is Al Wojcik. I manage the team for Americas and supporting all the compliance recording for NICE. So looking forward to many questions from a lot of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Al. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate it. Before we dive into the NICE solution, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Wilmec and our longtime partnership with NICE. Wilmec was founded over 60 years ago, and we've been specialists in the compliance recording and quality assurance industries since 1993. We began our partnership with NICE over 20 years ago. Our headquarters is in Rochester, New York, where we got our start selling and supporting NICE recording in the public safety industry. Our success in this mission-critical area led us to expand our reach into financial services and contact centers. This led us to expanding our territory, opening up offices in Toronto, New York City, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles throughout the years. We successfully serve over 600 customers all around the world, ranging from small 5-seat environments all the way up to a 40,000-seat global organization. Our true value lies in our people and in our dedication to customer service, as evidenced by our number of service engineers and our commitment to keeping them trained and certified at the highest levels. We have one of the largest and most effective professional service staffs in the industry. We have the depth and experience of a large organization, while at the same time offering the flexibility of a smaller company, which allows us to quickly adapt to our customers' ever-changing needs. These advantages and our track record of success has led to Wilmec being trusted by NICE to provide our installation and support services to many of their own most valued direct customers. We're especially excited to talk about the NICE NTRX integration with Teams. Wilmec over the years has built a dedicated team around NTR and now the NTRX solution. We're uniquely positioned as a provider to deploy NTRX, whether it's in the cloud or on-prem. As you can see on this slide, Wilmec can supply a wide range of services and consulting for your NICE solutions. Our organization already has multiple installs on this new Microsoft integration under our belts. Due to the complex nature of some of the great features on the NTRX that these guys will walk you through, we feel there is an even more important need to make sure you work closely with a services organization who has the experience, proper resources, and the skill sets to implement and support NTRX's integration to Microsoft Teams. Whether you're a large enterprise customer or a smaller customer, Wilmec can fit your needs. Again, we want to thank everyone for attending today, and now I'm pleased to hand it over to Rich Vogt. Rich?
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate the introduction. Before we get into our specific Microsoft Teams recording solution, I think it's important to discuss the communication compliance challenges that our customers are facing, and probably most of you in today's environment. So what are some of those challenges? Number one is you have a wealth of new modalities that your regulated users want to use. We've seen an incredible increase of unified communications. And those unified communications is specifically what we're talking about with Teams today, by using voice, video, chat, screen share, also an increase in different mobile applications. So the challenge for, the challenge for your firms today is how do we adapt to those new modalities, and how do we ensure that you're providing the regulatory requirements by Dodd-Frank or MiFID, and you're recording those regulated users with those new modalities. So it's not just a traditional PBX sitting at a desk with a phone or maybe a turret, an IPC turret, for instance, but it's being able to capture and having those users the flexibility to use different things. So that's a challenge for you as an organization. In addition, so what are some of our customers saying, and most likely a lot of you are saying, is how do we deal with that with our traditional or legacy recorder that we have today? And some of the questions that we hear is, how do we know all of those regulated users are being recorded, since our systems maybe are disconnected or maybe going throughout a region or even throughout the globe? How do we reduce the cost and the size of our recording estate? It's become massive over the years. How do we enable, I talked about those modalities, how do we enable Microsoft Teams? How do we use regulated users from one to another, right? And how do I ensure that compliance has the visibility into that platform and giving them insight, not only to making sure that they're complying, but also to get the information out in a quick and timely manner. In addition is with that legacy recorder, what's the challenge of moving to the cloud? How can I move to the cloud? Our company or firm has an initiative to start migrating services over. Can we do that with our legacy recorder, right? And so if you have those challenges and some of those questions, is like, oh, what's needed in a platform today to ensure you're adjusting or adjusting to those challenges, I should say, excuse me. So what we've done is look at some design pillars that our customers are saying is what's needed. One is you have to make sure that you're ensuring the recording, right? You're recording for a reason, to comply with the regulatory requirements, and you want to make sure that if I'm a recorded user, I want to make sure that that person is recorded, and I want to provide that documentation or a report to back up what we're doing within the organization. We're complying with all those laws. So we're proactively identifying those recording. We're verifying some of those endpoints. So these are the things that you want to make sure that the system does in a recording platform today. In addition, not just as ensuring, I want to make sure I'm managing those recordings. So how does compliance easily provide litigation hold request, or how do I get recordings out of the system in a timely manner if I have a large investigation and I want to reproduce those or get it over to maybe another internal request or outside counsel request? How does it meet those security requirements as well? In addition, how do we improve the process of a traditional recorder? It's how do I make sure I'm onboarding the correct people without being a manual task, or offboarding those users? How do I provide compliance, key compliance process like e-discovery to what we're doing with the recorder? How do I minimize the downtime in making sure if I perform upgrades and updates that there's no downtime with the system? and talked a little bit about enable the cloud and how can we use some of those advantages that the cloud gives us. And at the end is providing that management. So you're having a system that meets those open standards, the security standards that are needed to provide the system as running smoothly. So with those challenges and the kind of what's needed in a platform today is where we've come up with the framework of our NTRX solution. So we put everything in a single communication compliance suite. So number one at the bottom here is making sure we're capturing all of those new modalities that the users want to use. Obviously, the last 14 months, there's been a tremendous explosion of how we can communicate. So the system has to have the ability to capture that. So traditional phones, Cisco, Avaya, to turrets, BT, IPC, to mobile application, make sure we're archiving, screen, so it has to have the ability to capture video as well. Those might be regulated soon in the future, to chat, as well as text messages. So that NTR platform provides that modern design, having it as a global management tool. So it's essentially a global system instead of these regional silos or silos by location. Provide some of that automation instead of manually doing a lot of these mundane tasks, and providing some advanced security. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the NTRX benefits in a later slide, but the key is that we're recording everything from a communication standpoint, archiving, retention policies, providing you some proactive assurance. As I talked about, ensuring recording is we've taken those design elements and making sure that we're providing that, and then also have the ability to provide the transcription services or pushing that out to other compliance or business intelligence tools. So we have that complete umbrella of communication compliance. So I just wanted to provide some understanding of where we're going with the product and what we have and what it can do as it relates not only to Teams, but also some of the other telephony or modalities that you might be using today. So I'm going to now turn it over to Al, who's going to talk about our relationship and how it got started and some key factors we have with Microsoft.
Thanks, Rich. Again, Al Wojek. Yeah, I think one of the keys is when we've seen over the last year is, everybody's either on a Zoom or Teams or some type of calls now. And with Microsoft, I saw the other day on their conference call, they're up to 140 million people per day on Microsoft Teams. So again, it continues to expand. Back in October, that was 110 million. So as we see this grow, it's obviously for a lot of our clients, they're asking, what can you do to help us? And not beyond voice, but chat, texting, on video and different areas. And I think one of the keys is you ask yourself, why NICE, why Wilmac, why Teams? How do you bring it all three together? And one of the keys we're really going to talk about is we were the first one to be officially certified for integration. And again, being certified really is a process, and we'll talk about in the next slide, is it really goes back 2 years ago. And somehow we must have had some vision before COVID really started that we were going to have representation with Microsoft. And we became one of their technology acceleration partners. And the TAP program really allows you to be on the front end, really developing in their labs the product together. So we've been actually with them almost 2 years now, developing the integrations, the APIs, and all the advanced work. But more importantly is we've got into now the second phase, not only the rollout, as we've continued to roll out to almost 100 customers we're involved with right now, is that we also are connected with the labs, we're connected with any bugs or fixes, and it allows us to be coordinating all the time from ahead of our product development that we have for NICE on our recording to the product development teams guys and Azure guys that are in Redmond in Washington. So one of the things is you're going to continue to get any updates with product changes or anything that needs to be adjusted. The other piece is we're really looking at joint programs with Microsoft Teams, support models, how to change Azure, how to help out with servers. So the relationship has continued to be one that expands, but it also is built up. And it's one of the things about the program is it's one that you're invited to, and it's not one you just call up and sign up. So, you'll see always in the future other people that may have capability to record something that you might have on Teams, but the connections, the APIs, and all the back support models that NICE has, including with Womack, because we share all our product development, we share all our resources. Our teams are all connected between Womack and NICE. You'll get that streamless. So it's almost like you're dealing with Microsoft yourself. So we're very excited about the relationship, and it is a global relationship with Microsoft, but it's also been one from customers that have 10 users to customers that have 20 or 30,000 users. We've been able to support them with Microsoft Teams. So Rich, one of the areas that we talk about and try to find one of the references and from an investment bank, it's kind of in the middle, where we see a lot of clients might start with 50, 100, 200 users of Teams, maybe recording, maybe want video, may just want chat, all kind of different modalities they may want to look for. And we allow that kind of different openness to the solution. But we had a client actually looking for regulated users, and much like everybody else in the last 12 months, you need somebody to work at home, but all of a sudden people are communicating, or your clients and your customers are getting links that are Teams, and you're having to go into it. Even though you may not be a Teams user, you're still going to have to be involved in Teams calls. So, and this client really was one that we were able to dramatically help them quickly migrate from Zoom to Teams and really move to a place where they could have omni-channel reporting. And really what we found was, because we have a team that is specifically around Azure and helping support the back office model on this, we were able to move them very quickly, get them certified, get them up, and actually turn it on very quickly and move to a cloud SaaS offering. So with that, obviously, we know many of you might be on-prem on certain areas, or you may want to move to a cloud and really move and get to the total cost of ownership savings. So we're really looking forward to working with clients, but the main thing I want to focus on is our representation with Womack is very seamless, and it's also one that's connected right into Microsoft. So whatever access data we have, Womack has. So very proud to be with the team here and helping out any way which can. So I'll put it back to you, Rich. Looking forward to questions from the audience as we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. So, Al brings up a good point with that specific customer is to take a step back, is what are the design elements that we've done with Microsoft. And I've just touched upon these before we go into the solution. Is these 5 points is one, we wanted to make that easy to deploy. So as Al touched upon the relationship with Microsoft, we wanted to put that recording bot on the Azure tenant. So again, part of that Teams infrastructure, so it's seamless. We wanted to make sure we're providing total recording, right? So you're recording for those regulated users. You want to make sure you're recording just as you would any other traditional type of telephony. In addition, having some advanced features such as recording notification to comply with state or local laws that you have. And the key is also secure. So making sure the audio is relayed to those recording servers and capture servers in the NTRX, but it's also secure. In addition, it's providing all the additional metadata that you need to search, to replay, to do your investigations, and so on. So with the design in mind, what are we capturing? So if you look at the Microsoft Teams application, they have a variety of ways that a user, most of you probably are using Teams, a variety of way that you could use that. So we wanted to make sure we made it seamless for that user to be captured, and it doesn't affect the way that they operate. For instance, so we would capture all the different modalities within Teams. So audio video call, a screen share, chat. And so having that ability to capture any way that they communicate within the application, the Microsoft Teams will be able to capture that information with all the relevant metadata. In addition, making sure that we've designed it so any scenario that they're using and they're communicating, we're recording, whether it be forwarding, conferencing, meetings, And that's the same scenario with the chat as well. And it's just important to note, when we offer the solution, we can provide this as kind of an a la carte. And what I mean is, if you just need the audio portion, we could do that. Or if you wanted a mixture between one of those modalities like audio and chat, or you just want chat. So there's ways that we can offer the solution to tailor it to what you need and what your users are required for. So that keep that in mind as well. You have that ability to do that. So what I wanted to do is, I think it's important just to kind of provide you an end-to-end recording flow. As Steve mentioned in the beginning, we have our engineers on the call. So if there's specific technical questions, we can answer those and go through it. But what I wanted to do is, at a high level, kind of provide you what it would really look like when we're capturing Microsoft Teams. So first, you would identify that regulated user up on the right. And that regulated user is identified through Active Directory. And within that Teams infrastructure, they have a product called an MCU. So that MCU is being brought in anytime that regulated user it starts to use one of those modalities, whether it be a phone call, chat, etc. That's sent to the bot, and that bot is capturing that interaction that regulated user is having. So that sits within the Azure infrastructure. Now that can be part of your infrastructure. It could be part of our NICE or Wilmax infrastructure. They could provide that for you. That does have to sit within that Azure cloud. So after it captures that information, it's sent on the bottom here to the NTRX, which is the capture engine, and that's providing, taking in, knowing the user, all the additional metadata. These are all configured with highly resilient 2N, fully redundant capabilities as well, so you have that option. But the key is that the NTRX could sit within that cloud, so it could be all part of a cloud solution, or that could be on-prem. So most of you we're recording, I have to record, say, Cisco users or turrets, so we can provide that all within that infrastructure, that NTRX, so capture multiple different methodologies, as well as the teams, and provide it as that compliance, a single view into everything that we're recording. So again, this is just a quick high-level overview. We can get into specifics if you need, or even later, but just to give you an idea of how that would flow. And the key is, from a deployment standpoint, you have those flexible deployment options. So you can, put your toe in the water with a hybrid approach, or go full cloud, looking at ways that you can migrate some of those resources and take advantage of the cloud, and we could provide that for you. So again, cloud to hybrid, have a mixture to on-prem. So you do have that flexibility when it comes to the solution. So as I touched upon, that NTRX is not only the capture of the Teams solution, but it's also, that's our recorder, if you will, that captures everything across your estate. So it's not only just Teams, but again, it's your traditional telephony. And it's also the global management. So this allows you that window into everything that's happening, everything that you're recording. So it's really compliance centralized, as we say. So it allows that single solution to provide user management, access, administration, configuration. So from a global basis, so it's not regional, or this can be all done across your systems globally. And so it has that ability to provide the insight to alarms, health, setting up all those users, managing those users, and then also providing the capabilities of the other types of capture besides Teams. So we can then, again, whatever you're needed from a regulatory standpoint, it will capture. So not only is it managing some of that compliance and those users and search, replay, etc., we're also providing some additional functionality such as compliance assurance. So as I touched upon a little earlier, we talked about what's needed in a platform or to make sure that we ensure recording. So these are one of the design elements that we incorporate into the platform. So we have the ability to proactively monitor recording conversations. So an example on the screen is reconciliation. So that's one way where we could take what's coming out of the system and then marry it to what we've recorded. And then if there's any discrepancies, it will provide you can see on the screen, it's just a little X or a check mark that either something is not right and we can drill down into that, or everything is status quo. So it helps you mitigate risk. And as well, one other approach that we've done is a recording check. And that is the ability to proactively check those endpoints. So it will check, say, once a day. You can schedule it in the morning, check all that the phones or the turrets are recorded, and it will pump audio. We'll measure the voice metric to make sure that we're getting correct voice, and then again it will provide you that documentation that reports that everything is okay, or we need to drill down or something is not correct. So that's some of the automated or compliance assurance tools that we have. And the last thing, just talk about, is that process improvement, is how do we provide that compliance automation. And what I mean by that is from a compliance standpoint, that customers are having a hard time drilling down and getting information out of the system. So we were able to go in and provide exporting investigations and schedule those and automatically take that information and make it easy to get information out of the system. Or we want to take all of the calls and move it to a business intelligence tool or another compliance type of application. In addition, it provides real-time dashboards, reporting tools, and making it easy for compliance to access, to get what they need to comply with those regulatory requirements that are required. So, and it's just administration, legal holds, etc. All of those things make up in terms of what they're doing. So, from a standpoint, I just touched upon 3 different features, and we could drill this. We'd take the time at another time to drill into some of the different things that the NTRX can do as well, but provides you those fundamentals to making sure you're getting the recording, it's ensuring you're improving the process, and going from there. So I'm going to turn it back over to Steve to talk about Wilmac and NICE.
Appreciate that, Rich and Al. Great job. I hope that was very beneficial for everybody to see the NTRX.
Steve, sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Sorry about that.
Hear me now?
You're coming in real light, yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying let me know if you can't hear me. I was saying thank you for doing that, Rich. Really appreciate it. And moving on to the Wilmac and NICE slides here. We do have some questions coming in, but before we get to that, just wanted to let everyone know that, from Wilmac's standpoint, we have seen firsthand with our own customers how great the NTRX solution is, how far and how deep NICE went with Microsoft to get this integration and certification that really makes everyone feel good, especially the customers, about the partnership. On top of the Microsoft integration, Wilmac is able to support numerous other integrations, support legacy voice recorders, build managed service programs, and assist with moving your recording systems to the cloud. We truly believe that the Wilmac NICE Alliance, which features NICE's innovative software and Wilmac's people, experience, and flexibility in implementing and supporting this software that we really create the best recording solution for Microsoft Teams in the industry. So with that, I want to thank everyone for attending. We do have a bunch of questions. I don't know how good my audio is, so I'm going to send them over to Rich to start answering them. But Rich, the first question, if you can hear me all right, is
Yep.
Someone asked, what's the difference between the Microsoft Teams recording already available in the Microsoft platform compared to NTRX?
Yeah, so the Microsoft Teams recording platform, the recorder is a one-off, meaning it's a individual use case where I need to record something. So it's not a compliance type recording, right? So we deal in our world, we deal with compliance recording. So you're regulated to record. Giving that ability for the user to turn on and off recording does not sit well with the regulators in terms of having that ability to turn on and off. So the difference is we built this and designed the recorder we touched upon as a complete compliance recording solution. So that's why Al talked a little bit about the relationship with Microsoft, because they know they're going into a market where these users, these regulated users, have to be recorded, and they have to have the tools not only to just capture that information, but also be able to have it in a single system, so it's not siloed. So meaning that if it sits within the Microsoft world, I'm also recording a tremendous amount of people on my Cisco phones or IPC turrets, for example. I want to have a compliance, a single pane of glass to access all of those recordings. So those are the kind of things that we've seen, we talk to our customers about.
Great, thank you, Rich. And going with that, another question kind of leads in from that. You mentioned the TAP program and the certification with Microsoft. Can you speak to the advantages that your product has because of this program compared to others who are not certified by Microsoft? So Rich or Al, I'll let you guys handle that.
Hey, Rich, I can take that. It's Al. Yeah, so one of the biggest areas, as you saw on the timeline, is we started in 2019 with Microsoft, way before anything even came up about COVID. So we saw on the horizon ability, and this is one of our long-term plans, was to start recording Teams before it became a hot team item. And I think one of the areas is we are on weekly calls between product development. We share ideas back and forth. We share everything from data models. We share how fast information's flowing. We see anything from the servers. We see anything with Azure, any Azure problems. So we're communicating with all the time. And because we're certified with them, we have access to their developers. We have access to their support people. And we are actually building the APIs and all the future releases with Teams together in their lab. So you can actually be somebody probably that can record just because you're putting a recorder and connect into a Teams call. But being certified, knowing that it could be something that's going to be compliant, working, maybe not take down your support model, especially if you go into cloud, it makes a big difference as far as going to cloud and making sure that you're supported from behind Microsoft, just straight through NICE.
Great, thanks, Al. Another question, does NTRX capture activities such as whiteboarding separately from the video recording? Is it just screenshots at specific times or the actual activity? You guys understand that one?
Yeah, so we capture all the different modalities that Microsoft has offered. I think I heard you. So, which is what I think you said whiteboard, as well as the chat and screen share. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah, are they just screenshots at specific times, or is it the actual activity?
It's the actual activity. So again, part of that, going back to that development and TAP program is that they provided that API for us to develop. So we're capturing everything as it looks to the user.
Great. Yep. And there's another question about modalities from just the the presentation and what Rich just said, obviously not just audio. We have the ability to record everything, including video and chat, and bring it all together so you can search the replay from one spot. The next question asked if we have any customers that are already utilizing this. From a Wilmac perspective, we've already implemented this at multiple customer environments. It has worked very well. You know, I know a lot of times people get worried with new integrations, and rightfully so. Everyone has felt the pain with that. I can say very confidently that the implementations so far with this integration have went very smoothly. From a Wilmac perspective, our engineering team was surprised and very happy how smooth everything went. So it is definitely out there, and looking to get more out there, obviously.
Hey, Steve, it's Al. One more thing, maybe too, for a lot of people to understand is every one of our implementations, whether it's Wilmac or we do by ourselves, is connected with Microsoft. We report every implementation we do, so they are shadowing or they are with us on every implementation. So I think that's another key of the certification program, is we're making them aware weekly of any activity or customers that are being worked on and implemented, so they are there in case we need them for Azure questions or anything else. So it's a big other key point. You really got 3 companies working for you.
Great. Another question. We are currently looking to move our Cisco environment to the Teams environment. Can we bring our NTR calls from Cisco into the NTR Teams solution?
So the answer is yes. So you have the ability to use the existing channels, and again, if depending upon voice, and because there's other modalities, there might be some other caveats there, but correct. The whole idea is to incorporate the new Teams along with Cisco, or have a mixture of both, so it's not siloed, so you have a single pane of glass across your entire estate, whatever you're recording.
Okay, great. I have one question left, unless some other questions pop up, but so far I believe this is the last. And I think there are many options for this. But what kind of deployment options are there?
So we talked about in the slides, you have that ability to provide it as a complete cloud solution. So meaning that from a user standpoint, it could just be search and replay, and then off you go, and everything is hosted within the cloud. And that could be within Wilmac or NICE, providing you that flexibility. You could also do hybrid, right? So we talked a little bit about having some portions within the cloud, and then maybe saving some portions on-prem. Or you could do an on-prem where you have the actual NTRX capture engine within your infrastructure, and it's sending those messages down. So you have that ability, that flexibility to do one or a mixture or whatever you need in terms of what meets the firm's environment.
All right, great. Appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate everyone attending today. Sorry we had some audio difficulty here at the end. I'm screaming into the microphone right now. I hope people can hear it. We know it's difficult for you guys to take time out of your busy schedule, so we truly appreciate your attendance. And with that, I think we have one last slide that we'd like to let everybody know about. If Rich, you want to. Yep. So next month, NICE will be hosting their interaction live.
Sorry, Steve.
No problem. As you can see, it'll be hosted by James Corden, and the keynote speaker is Tom Brady. So pretty exciting guests there. What we will do in the next couple days is send everyone who has attended this an invite to register for this. It's a great event. It will showcase all of NICE products and solutions, including their CCAS solution, NICE In Contact, which is the industry gold standard for CCAS, which is Contact Center as a Service. And we'll really go through all of NICE's solutions and applications. So it's a great event. I highly recommend it. And again, we will get invites out to everybody within the next couple days. So with that, appreciate it. We hope you found this beneficial, and we hope to speak to everybody soon. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.